New moon in Aquarius this week. Let's talk about the energy weather report and how the moon is affecting you. Specifically, how will this new moon in Aquarius show up for you? What's the most important thing that you need to know about it? Woo-hoo. Oh my gosh, we had cards jumping out of the deck. Let me grab them. Because when they jump out of the deck like that, that means you want to pay attention. And who jumped out? Okay, Five of Swords and the Page of Swords upside down. So when a card is reversed, it's the same energy as it is right side up. It just can sometimes mean it's blocked a little bit or we're accessing it in a slightly different way. Let's talk about this one first. Five of Swords. This particular card is saying, you can win the battle, but at what cost? Not for your losing your mental sanity, not for staying up worrying. Is it worth it, the fight? You know how they say lose the battle to win the war? What's the bigger picture that's at stake? So when we're looking at this new moon, it's a new moon in Aquarius. Aquarius is the element of air. It is the water bearer. Aquarian energy has learned how to contain water, emotions, feelings, so much so that Aquarians can detach if necessary and go into observer role, which can be helpful in a situation like this where there's a lot of element of air, where the birds, the crows, represent chatter, mind just going from one thought to a next, monkey mind, as the yogis call it. And he's just, he can't quite find peace. And it's saying, take a moment to examine, what have you been fighting for? Where have you been pushing that? In the end, is it really worth it? Is it worth your sanity? Is it worth your well-being? When you are planting the seeds for this new moon, it's important to take into consideration this energy of the Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords, again, you have the birds flying around her, but it's as a distraction. This always reminds me of the wonderful Walendas, the beautiful family who can walk the tightropes. As children, and they were practicing walking the tightrope, their parents would throw things at them, and the tightrope would only be a few inches above the ground, but they'd throw like distractions at them, a ball or, maybe a stick, let's say, not to hurt them, but so that they could learn how to be so focused in the moment that distractions wouldn't cause them to lose balance. Because when they're on that high wire at some point, a bird might fly if they're outside, or a person in the audience might try to catch their attention. And those distractions could be threatening to, the person's life crossing the tightrope or the tightrope. This is saying, keep your nose in your books, keep your nose in your business. Everybody else is chit-chatting around you, all the distractions. You want to focus on your plans. Where are you going? Follow those bright ideas that you've been receiving. Don't let other people's words or thoughts or the gossiping or the chatter distract you, but instead, say, okay, is it worth it? Is it worth battling all these thoughts? I know I can win, but let me take a moment to pause. And if I really tune in and I ask, what's the most important thing to be focusing on? Ace of Wands is that spiritual divine connection. Taking a moment, her eyes are closed. Look at the peace that she has there versus this eyes closed with the bird coming in. This is a beautiful net, Indra's net, a beautiful goddess energy that catches the ideas and inspirations. Wands is fire. How do we get to this point? How do we move from a place of friction and frustration into peacefulness? Well, it's really through meditation. And meditation doesn't have to be seated with your eyes closed in a dark room in a lotus position. It could be going for a walk. It could be simply doing something where you get into a zone where you're so fully present in the moment, the hours pass you by. The mind is present and focused. And I'm going to talk through ways that you can do that. I feel like a sneeze coming on. I'm going to see. I'm going to sneeze. Nope. Maybe not. False alarm. My husband always does that when he sees a sneeze coming. He'll say, bless you, before I sneeze. And then I don't sneeze. I almost feel like one of you may have done that. So thank you. All right, let's look at the week in a high level picture to get an idea of how the moon is affecting you and how you can engage with it, especially as we head towards that new moon on Friday, February 9th. So, in order to harness the energy of the moon, I always go to my handy dandy Inside of the Moon journal and planner that I created that I love to share with you. This is something that enables me to track how I feel with each moon cycle. And then I have data that I can look back on because a lot of these experiences repeat themselves. For example, when the moon is in Cancer, I know that I'm going to be a little more emotional than normal. I'm going to probably want a little bit of extra chocolate, and I would rather be snuggling on the couch than doing, my regular work or extra chores. Whereas when the moon is in Virgo, I can get so much done. I love to systemize and organize and clean when the moon is in Virgo. When the moon is in Capricorn, I'm all about business and I don't have to worry about the emotions holding me back. So these are patterns that I've discovered in myself because I've been mapping the moon and tracking how it affects me. So the first thing that I love to do is I take a moment, and this is kind of like the the veg of the book. I don't want to say meat and potatoes, but it's like the tofu and broccoli of the planner, where you look at the whole week ahead. And I'm going to show you what I do at the beginning of a month because that's nice too. This is planning and this is journaling, and I'll explain why in a moment. But this, if you were to only do this and just map where is the moon, what's it doing, and how do I feel, and how can I make the most of it, you are off to a phenomenal start. Much that's going to give you a competitive edge and an extra boost that many people they end up missing out on. So first thing I always do is I look at the phase of the moon, and there are these little circles which you can shade in. This is a dateless planner, so you can pick and choose where you begin. And I just write the date in at the top, and then I shade in the cycle of the moon. We are in a waning crescent phase. We are moving towards a new moon on Friday, and then the moon will start to grow in light again. What does that mean? I love to just check out the phase first because we're looking at this from a very high level approach of how the moon is affecting us. The other planets are affecting us too. The moon is talking with them and engaging with them. And we can get very complicated and layered, but many of us are, and many of those of you who are watching are just beginning to engage with this energy. So we want to look at it from a high level perspective. We'll go deeper in the future. But for now, we just say phase of the moon, waning. What does that mean? Well, it's a letting go. And specifically, waning crescent, it's preparing for the new moon. So you want to rest because we're getting ready for a new growth cycle. And if you go into a new growth cycle exhausted and fatigued, it's like, what am I going to be good for? Where am I going to be able to take this? You need that resting time. So there's going to be this encouragement to get some extra rest at the beginning of the week. Many times people notice the new moon makes them a little sleepier. They have more fatigue. Not always, but sometimes. So these are patterns you start to recognize. Once you've done that and you've noticed the phase of the moon, new moon is about planting intentions. What do you wish to grow over the next 2 week cycle from new moon to full moon, and then another 2 weeks to get to the next new moon? So you've got this 4 week experience, 28-day cycle. What do you want to grow? So new moon rituals, I'll be sharing more of that this week, but I'm going to give you a little sneak peek into what that'll look like. But first, let's see what the moon is doing this week. So we kick it off in Sagittarius. Sagittarius energy is about optimism and beliefs. And since we are preparing for a new moon, it's always good to check in with your attitude and your beliefs to make sure that you don't have anything that would hold you back from the next growth cycle. For example, you might want to be able to start a podcast or to sign new clients or to go out for that promotion. But if you have a belief like, oh, nobody's going to want to hear what I have to say, or, oh, do I really have anything special to offer? Those old attitudes and beliefs, it's important to be able to release them. And I'll show you the practices you can do in a moment to help with that. So examine your beliefs, examine your thoughts. Where are you on that scale? Are you glass half full or half empty? Sagittarius energy. Capricorn. So for Tuesday and Wednesday, the moon moves into Capricorn, and Capricorn is about business. And so since we're getting ready for that new moon in Aquarius, Tuesday and Wednesday become a great day to say, okay, let me get my affairs in order. You might have some kind of idea of what you wish to build and grow with the new moon. And look at it like the CEO of a company does. Create that larger blueprint. What do I need to have on a high level? You don't have to know the details yet. Virgo is all about the details. You don't have to worry about the money yet. That's the Taurus energy. The Capricorn energy, they're the visionaries, like, let me put this together. How is this going to, function at a high level? What ducks do I have to get into a row in order to make this happen? So you're looking at it from that perspective, because then as you move into Thursday, the moon's starting to go into Aquarius, and then we have new moon Friday in Aquarius. And Aquarius is innovative, it's creative, it's unique, it's kind of quirky, it's definitely altruistic, it's thinking about the larger global community. Aquarian energy has that ability to detach and to rise above the chaos of emotion and to see things from a different perspective, to see the forest for the trees. And this new moon in particular, happening at 20 degrees, is saying that it's important to create a very safe space for your feelings and to know that unexpected ideas might come that you can channel, which kind of goes back to, let's see if I still have that card around. Yeah, it goes back to this Ace of Wands. You have new ideas coming through, especially if you keep your nose in your business and you don't let other people's chitter chatter or gossip distract you. But there's a great phrase one of my teachers would say. He said, as I was studying mediumship with him, what other people think of you is none of your business or say of you. And I always think that's refreshing because it's hard as an empath. We feel these things and it can distract us. As we get into the weekend, the moon moves into Pisces and now it's growing in light. So you're going to start to feel your energy picking up. And Pisces energy, very spiritual, very intuitive, very musical. I would encourage you over the weekend that if you have a chance to do something, especially since this Ace of Wands comes up, and music is the language of the universe. It's the language of the angels. If you can go out and see live music, fantastic. Or just simply listen to music, give yourself extra time for meditation and for the practices that help you tune into your intuition with more strength. So that's a high overarching energy of the week. What I also do when I look at my week is I set my intention, my 3 top things I'm working on, the crystal I'm using, the sacred practice and ritual, as well as how am I going to feed or nourish my spirit. Now, where do I get those things from? Because you might be like, crystal, I don't know. Maybe you're new to crystals. Maybe you love crystals. Let me know in the comments. But at the beginning of every month, we have this nice little theme that I love to set up. And again, it's dateless. You fill it in. So you can see I made this one February, an Aquarius energy. And the theme of it, the affirmation is, I dance with the divine and co-create my abundance, because manifesting is co-creation. We are working with the divine. We're working with source, with God, to bring our dreams into being. And what crystal can really help with that? Pyrite. And I've got my little pyrite right here. So this will be my crystal that I'll keep with me this week, that I'm going to use as an ally to remind me of how to tap into that energy, that frequency of abundance and prosperity. Then the other thing that I do this at the beginning of every month. These are blank, like these little boxes down here, and it's not very pretty. I was doing it quickly, but I just draw in the circles, I write in the dates, and I notice where's the new moon going to take place. New moon is here, and then the full moon is going to be on the 24th of February. And if there are any holidays in here, like we celebrated Imbolc on Thursday the 1st and into Friday the 2nd, you could add Valentine's Day, whatever else you wish. But then you could say, oh, well, you know what? Valentine's Day is happening as we're moving towards the full moon. It's almost the halfway point at that first quarter. So I'm going to be building an energy. What could that mean for me? Or maybe you're looking to ask for a promotion. You're like, I don't know if my energy is going to be big enough and bright enough on a new moon. Maybe I'll wait till a full moon when I'm really shining. You just look into it. You do take note of full moon and new moon and all those goodies. So anyway, I know that I can see the overarching flow and ebb of the energy from that. Now, once I want to get into those sacred practices, so I talked about my practices this week, I'm going to be using my pyrite as a crystal. And to support me, because I really want to tap into that intuitive action, take advantage of this Ace of Wands energy, but that means I have to be able to go into a meditative state. I go to the sacred geometry. So every month, and again, it's dateless, you can start where you wish, has a sacred geometric shape connected to it. And I give a little explanation of what the sacred geometric shape is. But this is the Taurus. This is the energy field around you. So when you are looking to create with the divine, this is a field to tap into, because what you were saying is that you're representing, or you're recognizing, this represents the balance between matter, physical matter, and spirit. And you are taking a time to feel the flow of the cosmic energy from source, from God to you, as well as what you are sharing back out. This is a view from the top down, as if you were standing right here and we were taking a look from the top of your head down. This is what the Taurus would look like, the energy field around you. So what I'm going to do with this, and I give guidance in the journal of how to do this, is I'm going to make a little crystal grid to meditate with. I'll place my pyrite at the very center, and that could be it. Maybe that's all you do, and that's perfectly wonderful. I'll tilt my camera so you can see a little better. But I'm going to add to it, and I'm going to just place 3 crystals around it. And I want to place the crystals in such a way, maybe I would even do 4 in the future, but you can make it a bit like a triangle. And you just place it wherever you wish. Well, make sure you can see. There we go. So then I'm going to just sit and meditate with this. Easy peasy, nice and simple. Creating crystal grids, we can talk about activating it, turning it on, but even just doing this act, you start to create a shift in the feeling. Maybe you can feel it, but feeling this pulsation and how it can become that you tune in to the energy of prosperity and abundance right within you, and you use the quartz to amplify that. So that is one way that you can use a journal. Lots of sacred practices and rituals in here that can help you take it farther. I list them for each month here, a way to track it. You can use as much or as little with the journal as you want, and you can track it on your own. I just, over the years, have found that these are the key pieces that make the biggest difference in recognizing how to harness the energy of the moon so that you can create the life that you were born to live. You can really step into it, that calling that you've been feeling in your heart. So if the journal is calling to you, look around this video for a special link to secure your copy. The one shipment that I have coming in, many of you have pre-ordered it. Thank you so much. It should be here any day now. So keep your eyes open on your inbox for information on that. And yeah, so I have more goodies coming along the way. Keep your eyes open for new moon rituals this week. I will be sharing more with you. Let me know in the comments below if you like to do new moon rituals, because everybody's different and I love to share them with you. But I'm always looking at how I can support you, what you're looking for, and that way I can bring you the practices that will enable you to really grow on your spiritual pathway. Okay, have an amazing new moon. If this has been helpful, please do like this video, subscribe. That way you'll be notified when the next one comes up every Monday at 9:30. I'm releasing these videos. I'm coming on and sharing this information with you. And do share it with a friend if it's helped you. The more that we can bring light and opportunity to this world to let people know that life doesn't have to happen to them, they can engage and dance with it, things begin to truly shift. All right, have an amazing week. Happy, happy, happy new moon in Aquarius, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Bye, guys.